Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to explain the poem France an Ode by Romantic poet S.T Coleridge. So without further ado, let's get started. Samuel Taylor Coleridge is the leader of the British Romantic movement. He was born on October 21, 1772 in Devonshire, England. He is the foremost poet critic of modern English tradition. He was very active in the wake of French Revolution. Coleridge along with William Wordsworth published their collaborative work Lyrical Ballads in 1798, bringing the Romantic era into English verse. This period proved to be his growing period of career as a poet. His poems directly and deeply influenced all the major poets of the age. Coleridge was a meticulous craftsman who was thorough and careful in reworking of his poems. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner and Kubla Khan are his well-known poems, along with his prose work Biographia Literaria. The present poem France an Ode, Coleridge wrote in 1798. Coleridge was an early supporter of French Revolution and opponent of the British Prime Minister William Pitt. However, when France invaded Switzerland and threatened to invade Britain, caused him lose his faith in revolutionary's cause during April 1798. He opposed Pitt but not Britain. He supported the British cause by writing a poem originally titled The Recantation, an ode which was later renamed France an Ode. The poem opens with an apostrophe to various elements of nature. Coleridge describes clouds as moving in a pathless march no mortal may control, showing the freedom of the clouds that they do not follow any path, instead they mold it or create their own path. Clouds are not under the influence of human. Similarly, ocean waves obey only to eternal laws. Apostrophe is a figure of speech in which the speaker speaks directly to someone who is not present or is dead, or speaks to an inanimate object, with exclamation, which is an important characteristic of apostrophe. Here the speaker directly addresses the inanimate object as ye clouds, ye ocean waves, ye woods, thou rising sun, etc. The poem sets up the contrast between the nature and human society, wherein the nature is free from any rules and regulation of human world, but the human society on the other hand has no association to freedom and is caged by the laws and regulations. Coleridge asks these phenomena to bear witness that he has still adored the spirit of divinest liberty. He proves his love of liberty through nature. According to Coleridge, nature is the place where he can find the freedom in its fullest form. Therefore, his deep appreciation of the moonlit walks in the forest is a genuine evidence of his deep understanding of and concern for the freedom. The poet here wants to make it clear that he has always been and is still on the side of freedom. The argument cuts off any connection between freedom and human society, which at large means politics. He does not give importance to his political position, instead he will adore the spirit of divinest liberty. In the second section, Coleridge describes how the French Revolution appeared to him at its beginning, when France in anger raised up high his legs and stamped her strong foot with the oath that she would be free. Here the poet has used the personification, a figure of speech where the human characteristic of walking is given to a non-living city, France. When the revolution began, the poet sang for joy amid a slavish band. Here a slavish band is used to refer his countrymen who supported Britain in their war with France. The poet was very happy and loyal supporter of the revolution, but the things turned horrible when they invaded Switzerland. Coleridge felt betrayed and disappointed by the nation he previously admired or respected. Like a devil involved in a war by a wizard's magical stick, the France and other monarch marched in evil day. Britain also joined the ominous, gloomy group. Though the Britain is very dear to him, he adores its shores, circling oceans, hills, yet with his unchanged voice, he called it a defeat. The poet criticizes Britain for joining tyrannous governments and hung his head and cried at Britain's name. The next stanza describes France entering into the area of terror. It was necessary, however, the countries which were supporting France were still terrified by the violence. But they also hoped that freedom would come. Then the narrator describes the betrayal he faced when France invaded Switzerland. Coleridge maintained his support for the revolution throughout this period. He compares the revolution to a sunrise that was blocked by stormy clouds. Though he could not see the sun, but he continued to have faith in the course of the revolution, implying its final fulfillment was as unavoidable as the rising of the sun. At the end of this stanza, he admits that he had fears that would not flee. He declares that France will conquer by her happiness alone, and that love and joy will look round and call the earth their own. Coleridge thought that this revolution will shift the political power from monarchy to republic, and the entire continent will be free from political tyranny without war and violence. But the reality was totally opposite. The foolish description of the resulting place where everything is perfect is disillusion. Coleridge now can see the cruel reality. He now presents his past beliefs as foolish ideas. In the fourth strophe of the ode, Coleridge finally rejects the French Revolution because of the French invasion of Switzerland. He now repents for supporting France, saying, "Forgive me freedom, oh forgive those dreams." He mourns the blood-stained streams of Switzerland. He believes Switzerland to be a peaceful country, and it is populated by mountaineers who are free-spirited people, and they enjoy bloodless freedom. The speaker apologizes for his mistake that he was supporting the tyrant France who wounded the innocent Switzerland. He is sorry for favoring a thought which blessed the cruel enemy and destroyed Switzerland's peace. In the last part, he asks France, the supposed champion of humankind, if France mixes with the kings in the low greed of sway and shares in with murderous prey, which means rule the innocent countries. By interpreting these lines, we come to know that Coleridge asks France, would he also rule the innocent countries along with the other kings who greed for rule? They are no different from the old ruling structure. Coleridge lost his trust in the revolution, and he was completely disappointed with France because he can distinctly see France imitating the same tyrannous system. Instead of replacing it, France followed it with the same intensity. Coleridge had thought a republic nation state would operate democracy, but it proved to be more monarchic than ever before. In the fifth and final strophe, Coleridge presents the contrast between society and nature again. He draws the comparison again as human society is slave to principles and is forced to be in the mad game. Humans think that they are free, but they are chained. The final image of the poem presents a communion with nature that allows for an intense and spiritual feeling of freedom. Coleridge's this argument, along with his devotion for liberty, seems rebellious and anarchist. He does not give any solution for freedom. Instead, he ends up his argument by putting liberty as a quality of nature. Coleridge quits his responsibility for analyzing socio-political aspects of freedom. He leaves the problem unsolved by saying that a person may have some or the other problems or restrictions, but if he is surrounded by nature, he is free. Hence, his socio-political condition does not stop him from meeting with nature. Thus, everyone is free.